Would you rather live in the world of Star Wars or the world of Star Trek? Why that choice? Human in Star Trek, far less chance of slavery and the Nazis are in another dimension. Star Trek. Because humans are no longer complete cunts in that universe. You do realize that Street is basically a perfect society when it comes to human race. Right? There's no poverty, sickness or wars. Even weather is controlled. Why would you want to live in Star Wars universe? As long as I'm in the Federation, Star Trek no contest utopia, what's not to like? Star Trek. And this from someone who was weaned on Star Wars from birth. Star Trek is the social objective. Star Wars is the likely social reality. Star Trek. More peaceful, more food, and holodecks. Star Trek is a post-scarcity society. That is not even a question at that point. Why anyone would choose Star Wars is beyond me. Star Wars is literally space Nazis oppressing the galaxy while Star Trek is a utopian peaceful society focused on learning about the cosmos. I guess if you prefer magic over science you would choose Star Wars. No, I don't hate Star Wars, I think Star Trek is better. Star Wars because glowy swords. I don't like violence, I'll live in the world of Winnie the Pooh. Star Trek. Captain Picard can play Star Wars movies on board the Enterprise. Han Solo cannot play Star Trek movies on board the Millennium Falcon. I have never watched Star Trek. But Star Trek. In Star Wars chances are the Force is not strong with me, so what's the point? Star Wars. At least there's a reason for them to fight. There's no scarcity of resources. The pinnacle of tech has been achieved and spread to everyone and everyone's generally happy in Star Trek. So why are they always fighting? It's senseless. Plus lightsabers. More refined IMO than a TV remote that puts others on mute. Star Trek because everyone is working for the same purpose, there's hardly wars. Star Trek. It's basically a perfect universe to live in. But Star Wars on the other hand sucks for most people and even more for non-people. It's just medieval standards of living with a few high-tech gadgets. Star Wars only if I was a Jedi of sorts. Or a slave dancer. Or maybe even a Jedi slave dancer. IDK. It's mainly to just kill a version of Nazis and whatnot. However, I'm not too worried about being shot by stormtroopers. Probably either or. I mean, realistically I would probably end up on one bad planets which is basically sand on Star Wars, or I would end up on some planet facing some sort of disease or weird culture norm like everyone who dies in a computerized world has to go kill themselves in Star Trek. Or I would be one of the kids living on a ship that basically is leaking radiation and everyone is inbred so everyone dies young. Andromeda. Or I would probably live an average office life in Firefly as an organ transporter. Easy. Star Trek. Earth is a utopia. Star Trek. It seems much more of an ideal place to live than in Star Wars. Star Trek. Humanity is basically a utopia. More than likely in Star Wars you'd likely end up in a polluted hell world that just gets obliterated by some space Nazi ship. Probably better healthcare in Star Trek. Star Trek because one grew up with it. Star Wars. Yay, it's more grimy, but Street seems kinda like the goody-goody nerdy teacher's pet type of environment. In SW, assuming I can't be Jedi or Sith, I'd try to be a bounty hunter and stay as far away from those Sarlacc pit things as possible. Trek is a utopia. Why would anyone not want to live there? It's a hard choice, but probably Star Trek because not to be narcissistic or anything, but I think I'd genuinely have what it takes to get into and do well in Starfleet. And because the whole idea of boldly going where no one has gone before just sounds incredibly fun. Definitely Star Wars, so I could hang out at the Mos Eisley Cantina. Who wants to live in a perfect world? Star Wars. I can see myself getting annoyed pretty fast by the Federation and its patronizing morality. Star Wars because Luke is hot face, I'll be able to take his mind off his sister. Star Wars because it doesn't involve Earth. Also, I've always been fascinated with the Clone Wars trilogy. Star Wars so I can fuck Princess Leia. Star Wars. That way I could join the Imperial Navy, fly a TIE fighter and crush the rebel scum. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Just people fighting in space. That feeling when you don't even know what people talking about. Star Trek please. It's essentially atheist, whereas the Star Wars universe has an underlying Christian vibe. Neither. Warhammer 40k as a human in the Far Sight enclaves. Disney. Well, I probably would pick Star Wars because it does have an afterlife. Or at least seem to have an afterlife as a Force ghost. Maybe Star Trek universe does too because admittedly I haven't watched much Trek universe. Downside Shatner may try to have sex with me. But upside Shatner may try to have sex with me.